parents as well. Right now, it's important more than ever to get the word out about best practices when you're around water. So joining me live in studio is the president of the National Drowning Prevention Alliance, Michelle Long. Thank you so much for being here. You're here to share some reminders with everybody to stay safe. We know the most common misconception is really, it can't happen to me. So along with the ABCs of water, what's something that we can do right now to keep tragedies like this from happening?
Well, I think the first thing is to know that it can happen to you. And so from there, you're going to take different steps, the layers of protection, because it's not just one step, but you have to have those multiple ones in place. We see that 70% of drownings for children 1 to 4 happen at non-swim times.
And I asked you earlier to elaborate on that. 70% of these drownings at non-swim times. Right. Could you elaborate for our viewers?
That's the time when parents think the child is down for a nap, or they're in a playroom, they're doing something quiet, watching TV, doing
on
something
tablet,
like that.
Whatever.
That type of thing. And yes, and so the parents could be busy cooking dinner, doing laundry, something, but you have to have those layers of protection. That's the security on the doors, the high locks, making sure they stay locked, even alarms on the doors, locking your doggy doors. I know it's super important for animals, but you need to make sure that because if a dog can get through, so can a child.
Exactly. At what cost?
Yes.
Keep it locked.
And the interior pool fences make a huge difference, because that gives you the time, in case you lose track of a child, where to go first is the water. Yeah. And then just even some of the smaller things, closing your toilet, making sure bathtubs are emptied.
Yeah, exactly. So the things in the home that can also pose a threat to drowning for kids, especially the young ones. I know a lot of the suggestions that we tell people, again, the ABCs, and that's, you know, having an adult supervision and barriers and knowing CPR. Those suggestions are great prior to a day of swim. What can parents and guardians do after a day of swim to make sure that safety hazards are removed and we can lessen the risk?
It's important that you're removing all toys from the area. Anything that can be pulled up to a pool fence, whether it be a chair or some kind of
toy bin.
Right, anything like that, a child can climb on to get over a fence to a pool. So you want to get everyone inside, you want to make sure you're counting heads, that door is locked, taking them out of their swimsuits, and then letting everybody know that they're going to be staying in the house. And then again, making sure there's that supervision.
Exactly. I know in your 24 years of experience, you've been on a number of these calls. You've also worked with the crews who have to show up to these horrible situations. What's the one takeaway you want to share with the viewers just for best measures as we enter summer season hardcore?
Well, I think for any emergency responder, from what I'm hearing, is that these are the worst calls. Because parents, it's very emotional for them. It's an extremely highly emotional scene. Going to the emergency room, it impacts everybody. It's not just that one family. This impacts family, extended family, neighbors, schools, the whole emergency scene, everything with that. And these don't go away. These are hard, difficult calls for our crews.
Yes, ma'am. All right, Michelle Long with Mesa Fire and Medical. Thank you so much for your time today. 12 News, of course, dedicated to keeping you and your family safe alongside these first responders. So for more information about the 12 News Water Watch campaign, including life-saving water safety tips, just go to 12news.com/waterwatch.